Hello coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to our channel World Rare Coins, where we discover the fascinating world of rare coins and their incredible value. From hidden gems that could be worth a fortune to little-known coins with a rich history, we'll explore it all. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into today's exciting coin discovery. On top one today, we've got something truly special for you. The United States 1-cent coin from 1982. You might be thinking, a penny? Isn't that just worth 1 cent? Well, buckle up, because this particular 1982 penny could be worth far more than its face value. By the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors are paying big money for this small coin. And who knows, you might just have one hidden in your collection or spare change jar. Stick around to find out just how much it could be worth. Before we dive into its value, let's set the scene. The year 1982 was a time of change and transition in the United States. The economy was shifting, inflation was on the rise, and the country was moving toward more modernized coinage. It was in this year that the U.S. Mint decided to make a significant change to the composition of the penny, which, believe it or not, would set the stage for a coin that would become a sought-after treasure in the future. For over 70 years, pennies had been made primarily of copper, but in 1982, the cost of copper had risen dramatically. So, in order to keep production costs down, the U.S. Mint introduced a new copper-plated zinc composition for the penny, which changed the structure of the coin entirely. However, not all 1982 pennies were made with the same materials. And this is where things get interesting. Here's where things get tricky and exciting. In 1982, the U.S. Mint began the process of transitioning from the old copper penny to the new copper-plated zinc penny. However, this transition wasn't smooth, and the Mint accidentally struck a large number of pennies using both the old and new compositions in the same year. Some pennies were made with 95% copper and 5% zinc, while others were made with 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, creating two very different versions of the 1982 penny. For collectors, these two versions are crucial because they represent a rare mistake during the minting process. The copper pennies from 1982, while still in circulation for a time, are now quite rare, and finding one in great condition is a dream come true for many coin collectors. Now, we know that error coins and rare varieties are what really make collectors' hearts race. And this is where the real value of the 1982 penny comes into play. In addition to the copper versus zinc composition issue, there are also certain rare errors that were minted during this time. One of the most famous of these is the 1982 Denver Mint copper penny that was mistakenly struck using the wrong dies. As a result, these pennies have characteristics that set them apart, and the error is subtle but highly coveted by collectors. In fact, some of these error pennies have been found with unusual marks, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These flaws can drastically increase the value of the coin, as error coins are often worth far more than standard issue coins. The 1982 penny has been so widely studied and so highly prized in the numismatic community that many collectors actively search through rolls of pennies, hoping to find one of these rarities. If you happen to come across one of these unique pennies in mint condition, you could have a small fortune in your hands. Of course, when it comes to coin value, condition is key. A penny that has been in circulation for decades will most likely show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, or other imperfections that lower its value. However, if you find a 1982 penny in mint or near mint condition, it can fetch a significantly higher price. Coin grading is a critical factor in determining a coin's worth, and the highest grades are what collectors are after. A coin in perfect, uncirculated condition, with no signs of wear or damage, will command a premium price. So, when you're checking through your coins, be sure to look closely at the surface for any signs of wear, as well as the overall shine and luster of the coin. Okay, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the value of a 1982 penny. As we've seen, there's a lot to consider when it comes to determining a penny's worth. The specific type of penny, its condition, and any errors or unique features it might have can all dramatically affect its value. So, if you happen to have a 1982 copper penny in mint condition, or perhaps one of those rare error coins with an off-center strike or other imperfections, you could be holding a coin worth an impressive amount. How much, you ask? A 1982 copper penny in perfect condition, or a rare minting error, could be worth $47,000. That's right, $47. for a single penny. Who would have thought that such a small, seemingly ordinary coin could hold so much value? So, if you've got any 1982 pennies lying around, make sure to take a closer look. You never know. You might just have one of the rare ones that's worth a small fortune. On top 2, we've got an exciting topic for you: the United States 1-cent coin from 1984. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? But let me tell you, this 1984 penny has something special about it that could make it worth far more than just 1 cent. Stick with us to discover the incredible value behind this small coin. And by the end of the video, you'll be amazed at how much it could actually be worth today. Before we dive into the value of the 1984 penny, let's take a moment to understand the historical backdrop of this coin. The 1984 penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. For decades, the design of the penny remained largely unchanged, with President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But in 1984, something happened in the world of U.S. coinage that would eventually affect the value of certain pennies minted that year. 1984 marked a time of economic stability in the United States. Ronald Reagan was president, and the country was in the midst of a long economic expansion. The penny was still primarily made of copper, with a small amount of zinc mixed in. However, as with most coins, not all pennies minted in 1984 were created equal, and there are rare varieties and interesting details that make some of these pennies more valuable than others. The design of the 1984 penny looks much like any other penny from the 1980s, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and has remained mostly the same since its introduction. However, what sets the 1984 penny apart from other years are the rare varieties and the specific details that could make it a valuable collector's item. One of the key factors that collectors focus on when evaluating a coin is the mint mark. For the 1984 penny, the mint mark indicates whether the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, or the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. These mint marks play an important role in determining the rarity and demand for specific coins. While the 1984 penny is relatively common, certain factors could make it more valuable. Here's where things get really interesting. As with many coins, sometimes the U.S. Mint makes mistakes during the minting process, and these errors can turn a regular coin into a sought-after collector's item. With the 1984 penny, there are a few key varieties and errors that can make these coins far more valuable than their face value. For instance, one of the most famous and highly sought-after error coins from 1984 is the 1984 double die penny. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing certain details, like Lincoln's face or the date, to appear doubled. These double die coins are extremely rare and can command a premium price from collectors who are eager to add a unique error to their collection. In addition to the double die error, there are also some 1984 pennies that were struck on wrong planchets, meaning they were made from the wrong metal composition. A 1984 penny struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, like a dime, could be a very valuable find. When it comes to determining the value of any coin, condition is everything. A penny that has been heavily circulated, with scratches, discoloration, and other signs of wear, will be worth much less than one that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coin grading is the process by which coins are evaluated based on their appearance, and it's crucial to understanding their value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect, mint state condition. A coin with minimal wear, sharp details, and a clean surface can fetch much higher prices in the market. For example, a 1984 penny that is graded as MS 65, mint state, or higher, meaning it has barely any visible wear or marks, could be worth several times more than a penny in lower condition. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. What is a 1984 penny actually worth? As we've discussed, the value of the 1984 penny can vary depending on factors like the mint mark, any potential errors, and the overall condition of the coin. If you happen to find a 1984 penny with one of those rare double die errors, or perhaps a mint state version that has been carefully preserved for decades, you could be holding a coin worth a lot more than its face value. In fact, a well-preserved, error-free 1984 penny or a rare variety could be worth up to $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small, humble coin could be worth so much money, especially when it's in excellent condition or has a rare error. So, if you've got any 1984 pennies in your collection or loose change, take a closer look. You never know. You could have a valuable treasure hiding in plain sight. On top three, we've got something that might just be sitting in your pocket or jar of change right now. The United States 1 cent coin from 1986. You might think, it's just a penny. How much could it really be worth? Well, if you've got one of these special 1986 pennies in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around until the end of the video, and you'll find out just how much this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth. Trust me, you're in for a surprise. Before we talk about the value of the 1986 penny, let's set the stage with a bit of history. The 1986 penny, part of the Lincoln Cent series, has been in circulation since 1909. However, 1986 is a significant year because it marks the 77th anniversary of the Lincoln Cent, which has become one of the most iconic coins in American history. By the 1980s, the penny's design hadn't changed much over the years, still featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The penny had been made primarily of copper for many decades, but by the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint was facing increasing costs associated with copper, leading to changes in the coin's composition in later years. However, the 1986 penny was still minted with the traditional copper composition, and most were produced in large quantities, making them common and easy to find. But that doesn't mean all 1986 pennies are the same. There are some rare varieties, minting errors, and hidden features that make certain 1986 pennies worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. The design of the 1986 penny looks almost identical to the pennies of the years before it. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the standard reverse design since 1959. For most of the 1980s, the design stayed the same, but the specific details of the coin's composition and minting year made some years, like 1986, stand out. Coins from this year were minted at two primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. The mint mark can play a crucial role in determining the value of a penny, especially when combined with factors like rarity, condition, and minting errors. So, what makes the 1986 penny special in the eyes of collectors? Well, just like any other year, there are a few key features and errors that can make some 1986 pennies stand out from the rest. One of the main things that collectors look for are minting errors. These could be anything from slight design flaws to major errors that occurred during the minting process. A common error that occurs in coins from this era is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the minting press, causing part of the design to be cut off. A 1986 penny with an off-center strike can be a very valuable find, especially if it has a significant portion of the design missing. Other minting errors can include double dies, where the image is struck more than once, causing a doubled look in certain parts of the coin. These types of errors can greatly increase the coin's worth. There are also some pennies from 1986 that were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning the wrong type of metal was used to mint the coin. For example, a 1986 penny struck on a dime planchet, a metal piece intended for a different denomination, is a rare and valuable find. Such errors can make a 1986 penny worth thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. As we all know, the condition of a coin is one of the most important factors when it comes to its value. A penny that has been worn down from years of circulation will naturally have a lower value than a coin that has been carefully preserved. Coins are graded based on their condition, with a scale that ranges from 1, poor, to 70, perfect. A penny in mint state, MS, condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation and shows no signs of wear, is far more valuable than one that's been passed through many hands. A penny with sharp details, a clean surface, and no noticeable scratches or discoloration will fetch a much higher price on the market. For collectors, the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So, if you have a 1986 penny that is in mint condition, MS 65 or higher, or if it has a rare error, it could be worth significantly more than face value. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much is the 1986 penny worth? Well, it all depends on the factors we've discussed. minting errors, condition, and rarity. While most 1986 pennies are worth just a few cents, some of the rare and error coins from this year can be worth a lot more. A 1986 penny in excellent condition, or one with a rare minting error, could be worth an impressive $45,000. That's right, $45,000 for a single penny. It's amazing how something as simple as a 1986 penny could hold such significant value, especially if it has a rare error or is in pristine condition. So, before you toss any 1986 pennies into your change jar, take a closer look. You never know. You could be holding a rare and valuable coin. On top 4, we're diving into a coin that you might not give a second thought to until you hear about how much it could actually be worth. Yes, we're talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1990. A simple penny, right? Well, what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth way more than its face value? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why some 1990 pennies are commanding prices that will blow your mind. Stick around to find out just how much you could get for this little coin that's been sitting in your collection or your loose change jar. Before we get into its value, let's take a quick look at the historical context of the 1990 penny. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the U.S. Mint had been producing the Lincoln cent for decades, with President Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. The penny had undergone several design changes since its introduction in 1909, but by 1990, the design remained the same, and the coin was still widely circulated throughout the country. The 1990 penny was minted during a time of economic growth in the United States, as the country was enjoying a period of prosperity under President George H.W. Bush's administration. However, while the penny was still being produced in large quantities, not all 1990 pennies are equal. In fact, certain ones are rare, highly sought after, and, surprisingly, can be worth far more than the 1 cent printed on them. Now, let's talk about the design and specifications of the 1990 penny. As with most Lincoln cents from the era, the obverse features a bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained a staple of U.S. coinage for over a century, and its iconic image is instantly recognizable. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used on the back of the penny since 1959. While these designs might not seem all that special at first glance, the value of a 1990 penny comes down to more than just its visual appeal. The year of minting, the coin's condition, and rare minting errors are what really make this penny stand out in the world of collectors. The 1990 penny was produced in 2 main locations: the Philadelphia Mint, without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. There are also specific varieties of the 1990 penny that make them even more valuable, especially when you factor in unique minting errors or rare conditions. Here's where things get interesting. While most 1990 pennies are common and worth only their face value, there are certain key features that can turn an ordinary penny into a rare treasure. The most valuable 1990 pennies are those that were struck with minting errors. One of the most coveted errors among collectors is the double die penny. A double die occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear doubled in certain areas. In the case of a 1990 penny, this could mean that you find a coin with a double image of Abraham Lincoln or the date, making it instantly recognizable as a rare and valuable error coin. Another type of minting error that can make a 1990 penny extremely valuable is an off-center strike. This happens when the penny isn't properly aligned in the minting press, causing the design to be off-center, which can lead to a portion of the coin being missing or incomplete. A well-struck off-center 1990 penny can fetch a significant amount on the market, especially if the misalignment is drastic. Moreover, some 1990 pennies were accidentally struck on wrong planchets, meaning they were minted on metal blanks that weren't intended for pennies. These wrong planchet coins are highly prized by collectors because they are extremely rare and completely unique. When it comes to coin value, condition is key. A penny that has been circulating for years and has visible wear, scratches, and discoloration won't be worth much. But a penny that's in great shape, especially one that's been well preserved in mint or near mint condition, could be worth far more. Coin grading is a system used by collectors and dealers to determine the quality of a coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1, poor, to 70, perfect. A coin that is in mint state, MS, 65 or higher, meaning it has no signs of wear and retains its sharp details, is much more valuable than a coin that's seen heavy circulation. If you find a 1990 penny that is nearly flawless, it could be worth a lot more than a coin in lower condition. The higher the grade, the more money it can bring in a sale or auction. So, if you've got a 1990 penny that's in great shape, you could be sitting on a coin worth thousands of dollars, especially if it has one of the rare errors we've mentioned. So, how much can a 1990 penny really be worth? Well, it all depends on a few factors, especially the condition of the coin, any minting errors it might have, and how rare it is. While most 1990 pennies are worth just 1 cent, certain ones with significant errors or in perfect condition can fetch impressive prices. A 1990 penny with a rare minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, or a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition could be worth $43,000. That's right, $43,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something as simple as a 1990 penny could be worth so much money, especially if it has an error or is in excellent condition. So, before you toss any 1990 pennies into your change jar, take a closer look. You never know. You might just have a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. On top 5, we've got something that might just be hiding in your pocket or sitting in your coin jar right now. The United States 1 cent coin from 1998. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How much could it really be worth? Well, if you've got the right 1998 penny, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around until the end of the video, and I'll reveal just how much this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth. You won't believe your eyes when you hear the shocking value of the 1998 penny. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1998 penny's value, let's take a moment to understand the historical context behind it. The 1998 penny was minted during the final years of the 20th century, a time of economic stability in the United States. By this point, the U.S. Mint had been producing the Lincoln cent for nearly 90 years, and the design had remained relatively unchanged for decades. The coin features President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back, which had been the standard design since 1959. While the penny itself was still widely circulated, little did anyone know that some of these 1998 pennies would eventually become highly sought after by collectors and fetch a lot more than their face value. Let's take a closer look at the design and specifications of the 1998 penny. On the obverse, you'll find the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, which has been part of American coinage since 1909, features Lincoln facing right, his serious expression symbolizing his leadership during one of the most tumultuous times in American history. The Civil War. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been featured on the penny since 1959. The memorial is an enduring symbol of Lincoln's legacy and the nation's respect for the 16th president. The 1998 penny, like all pennies produced during this time, was made primarily of copper and zinc, with a weight of 2.5 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. The coin was minted at both the Philadelphia Mint, without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, with a D mint mark. These two minting locations produced the majority of 1998 pennies, and while many were produced in large numbers, some rare varieties and minting errors have made this particular penny more valuable than you might think. So, what makes the 1998 penny stand out in the world of collectors? Well, just like any other year, there are certain rare varieties and minting errors that can turn a seemingly ordinary penny into a valuable collector's item. The key is knowing what to look for. One of the most significant errors that collectors look for in 1998 pennies is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the minting press, which causes part of the coin to be left off-center, sometimes with a portion of the design cut off. An off-center 1998 penny can be a valuable find, especially if the misalignment is significant and the coin retains a good amount of detail. Another valuable error to look for is the double die variety. A double die occurs when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing the design to appear doubled. This can happen on parts of the image or text, and it's most noticeable around the date or Lincoln's portrait. A 1998 penny with a noticeable double die error can be worth significantly more than a regular, non-error coin. Additionally, there are some rare 1998 pennies that were struck on wrong planchets. These are pennies that were accidentally minted on metal blanks meant for other coins, such as dimes or quarters. These error coins are incredibly rare and highly desirable for collectors, as they are unique and often command premium prices at auction. When it comes to the value of a coin, the condition is just as important as the rarity. A penny that has been worn down by years of circulation will naturally have a much lower value than one that has been well preserved. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins in mint state, meaning coins that have never been used in circulation and retain their original, sharp details. Coin grading is used to determine a coin's condition with a scale from 1, poor, to 70, perfect. A 1998 penny that is in mint condition, MS 65 or higher, will be far more valuable than one with noticeable scratches, dents, or discoloration. If the coin is in great shape and features an error or rare variety, its value can increase even further. The better the condition and the rarer the variety, the higher the price a collector is willing to pay. So, if you have a 1998 penny that is in fantastic shape, or better yet, if it has a minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, you could be sitting on a very valuable coin at SO. You're probably wondering, just how much could a 1998 penny be worth? Well, as we've mentioned, most 1998 pennies are worth only 1 cent, but there are certain coins with rare minting errors, unique varieties, or that are in pristine condition that can fetch much higher prices. Some 1998 pennies have been sold for thousands of dollars at auction, especially those with noticeable minting errors or that are in perfect, uncirculated condition. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1998 penny in excellent condition, or one with a significant error, can be worth a jaw-dropping $41,000. That's right, $41,000 for a single penny. Who would have thought that something so small and ordinary could hold so much value? So, before you toss any 1998 pennies into your coin jar, make sure to take a closer look. You might just have a rare treasure hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about how to spot rare coins and their hidden value, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!